Now the important question, why start early? And this is something that somebody was asking. So this is basically the way I look at it. Both of us are math oriented individuals. So we've broken down preparation into math. ठीक है, मैं बोल रहा हूं आज हम लोग बैठे 18th फेब पे, अज्यूम करते हो आप 20th फेब से शुरू करते हो 2 दिन बाद, वहां से लेके 30th of November तक यू आर बेसिकली लुकिंग एट रफली 6700 to 6800 hours. For your CAT prep on an average we turn around and state 1000 hours is good, बिकॉज बेसिक्स करने हैं, कॉन्सेप्ट्स करने हैं, मॉक्स करने हैं, मॉक एनालिसिस करना है, वीडियो सोल्यूशंस देखने हैं, मल्टीपल टॉपिक टेस्ट लेने हैं, सेक्शनल टेस्ट लेने हैं, मल्टीपल चीजें करनी है. And suddenly in between, in the month of August, September, you'll realize, oh my God, everything is spent on CAT. There is something called NMAT, which is going to start in October. There is something called SNAP, which will happen 15 days after CAT. There is something called ZAT, which will happen 15 days after that. And you will realize, oh, I have not done anything oriented to that. Hence, you will realize कि actually time काफी लगाना है. So 1000 hours is generally what we state. अब अगर मेरे को 1000 hours लगाने हैं, this is how generally we turn around and state you break up those 1000 hours. Like I stated, think of concepts. When I say concepts, it doesn't mean basics khali. It means anything. It means not only the building blocks, but say, for example, Venn diagram में 2 parameter Venn diagram and 3 parameter Venn diagram आपका building block हो गया. लेकिन Venn diagram के through maxima minima करना, वो एक higher level learning है, वो भी एक concept है. So higher level building blocks, everything is a concept. You build on top of it, build on top of it, build on top of it. Linear arrangement, you start with arrangement and concept, you start with linear, you will end with matrix level. So उसमें multiple level होगा. वो matrix movie जितना ही complicate बना सकते हैं अगर बनाना है. But at the end of the day, every single thing is conceptual. So we turn around and say 60% of your time will be spent in concepts, 40% of your time will be spent in assessment. So 60% learning, 40% assessment. That's generally how you bifurcate it. Also, one very, very important part, and I'm sure Ravi will actually second me, third me, fourth me on all of this, which is, यार 2 घंटे का जो मॉक होता है ना, एनालिसिस करने में बहुत टाइम लगता है, और एनालिसिस में क्या क्या पैरामीटर्स होते हैं, बहुत सारे होते हैं, which is something that we'll talk about as well. So don't think, oh, मेरे को 30 mocks लिखने हैं, that's 60 hours done. Every single mock is going to be followed by an in-depth analysis. For each mock, you're going to be provided video solutions for every question. For your CDC pros, some of them you'll be provided video attempts as well. You will be urged to go ahead and try solving every single question on your own again before looking at the video solution. So there are multiple things that you will need to do in the post mock in terms of analysis. So hence we generally turn around and state rule of thumb hota hai 2.5 to 3 times the time of a mock is what you spend on analysis. So if you spend about 5 to 6 hours on analysis, that's about 7 to 8 hours for a mock. And then after that, you've got topic tests, sectional tests, and much, much more. So that's how you bifurcate 1000 hours. Now the important part. If you start in February, it is 1000 out of 6720. Let's say 1000 out of 6700 or 6800. That's 15% of the total time. So 15% of total time is same as 15% of every single day, right? So you got 24 hours every day, 15% of that, you are roughly looking at about 3.5 hours. Roughly looking at 3.5 hours. Suddenly you turn around and say, मैं अभी नहीं करूंगा, मैं April mid से शुरू करूंगा, 2 महीने बाद. It suddenly becomes 1000 out of 5400 hours. You're suddenly looking at 4.5 hours per day. And then in case some of you turn around and state, no, I'm expecting a few calls, while I won't take it, I'll prepare for the interviews of those calls and मैं May, June में शुरू करूंगा. June में शुरू करते हो, it is 1000 out of 3800 hours, which means 26% of total time, which is 6.5 hours per day. Now, if you're going to be one of those who is, I'm guessing June है तो college में नहीं होगे, so either you're working or not doing anything. So if you're working, that's about 10-12 hours a day. You're sleeping for about 6-7 hours, 1-2 घंटे बीच में, 17-18 hours gone. So पूरे 6 घंटे ही है आपके पास, 6.5 घंटे लगाना है. मतलब जिंदगी में और कुछ करने का मौका ही नहीं है. You have absolutely nothing else at your disposal. And you don't want to be in a situation like that. That is why we turn around and state start early. Because we also want you to love yourself and respect yourself. In between, you need a break. In between, you need to watch the Champions Trophy. You need to hope that CL bleeds blue, you bleed blue, and India wins the World Cup. You need to hope that the next, WTC cycle starts off well in England. You need to go ahead and watch 3 of your movies. You need to go out on a couple of dates. You need to go ahead and chill a little in life. वो सब अगर करना है काम के साथ, प्रेपरेशन के साथ या अकैट्स के साथ अगर आप कॉलेज में हो तो आपको टाइम चाहिए. दिस इज व्हाई यू नीड टू स्टार्ट अर्ली. There is no rocket science to it. Math is telling you the qualitative answer rather than the quantitative answer this time. So I just hope that you understand this part and it helps you a little bit.
Just
Yeah,
one thing, GB, to add here. When we say 600 hours of concepts, see, there is a very uh, large misunderstanding in the market among students कि कॉन्सेप्ट पढ़ना यानी मैंने वो बुक देखा, वो एक बुक है, वो बुक में मैंने देख लिया कि क्या है कि प्रोपोर्शनैलिटी में क्वेश्चंस किस तरह के आते हैं, मैंने वो देख लिया, मैंने कर लिया प्रोपोर्शनैलिटी. ये तो वही वाली बात हो गई कि व्हेन आई in school, GB, I remember when I was studying biology in school in 10th standard, sorry, chemistry during my 12th standard, organic chemistry when my teacher was teaching it, I felt wow, amazing, right? In the class when I was sitting, I felt wow, I know everything, wow. In the exam in AI that year, I scored -3 in chemistry.
again, wow, I know nothing.
Because I felt I knew everything because of the way he was teaching. I felt captivated. अच्छा ये तो मेरे को समझ में आ रहा है. Where I failed is I did not practice enough. So when we say concepts, see, you learn 100 concepts, you learn 1,000 concepts of quant. It is no good if you have not practiced 100 questions each on each of the concepts. If you have, so instead of learning 1,000 concepts, learn those 100 concepts and start solving 100 questions on each of the concepts. That is where you actually start building your mental, because that is when you feel confident about a particular concept. So it is like घर में एक बॉल लटका के बैट मारते जा रहा हूँ सीधा मैच में उतर गया, नहीं होता. You will have to play in the nets. You will have to face different types of balls at different paces and all, and only then you will be able to understand. So learning concepts through questions is utterly important to my mind, right? So when you are looking at, so okay, you will cover your basics of, let us say, profit, loss and discount. You have gone through the basics, but now delve into solving 30 questions of profit, loss and discount on faulty weights alone. Then you will become a master of faulty weights within profit, loss and discount. This is applicable to almost all topics. See, time, speed and distance, there are 20 different types of questions of time, speed and distance that you can expect in the CAT, right? You may be good at 15 of them, but not good at boats and streams and escalators. Grind till you become good at those topics, because these are topics that will definitely appear in the exam. You don't know कि कौन सा subtopic within that topic will be asked in the exam. You have time. Start now. Practice enough along with learning concepts. The other thing is, as GB correctly mentioned, those of you who are thinking हाँ जून से भी हो जाएगा या अप्रैल से भी हो जाएगा, don't forget, देखो अभी, those of you who want to start now also, don't forget there is a Champions Trophy. There is an IPL 2 महीने का पूरा. Maybe Rohit Sharma's, Virat Kohli's last IPL, who knows? ठीक है, तो तुमको
Not the
देखने
IPL, but I'm
का.
quite sure maybe they've already played the last test or the last test is coming up. IPL तो और खेलेंगे.
Yeah, right. Then after that, suddenly towards September, October, ये festival season start हो जाता है. You will never know कब time हाथ से निकल जा रहा है, right? So you would better safe than sorry. Start now. The good part about starting early is you need not start with giving 3.5 hours a day today. You can start with something as small as half an hour per section today. Build on it, come to a level. When you come to October, then you are probably spending 4 hours, 5 hours, or even 6 hours in your practice and mock tests and analysis. That is how you should pace it. Don't take it bluntly कि 3.5 hours हर दिन करना है. If you are starting right now, start off slow, but keep building on it. Keep adding that time frame every day. You keep adding 10 minutes to the work every week, half an hour to your work every week. That's how you progress towards success. Yeah.
So just a couple of things, guys. A lot of y'all on the session, over 100, 150 of y'all. Go ahead and do like the session if you feel that it is helping you a little. Go ahead and give a little bit of inspiration to the backend team who's going ahead and working hard on this. And while you're going ahead and do that, come and reply here ki ye kar diya. I'll go ahead and pick up a couple of questions. Some of y'all are actually going ahead and talking about, when you talk about 600 hours of learning, is that in addition to the classes we attend? So no. So if you're attending classes at CL, hypothetically, say 150 sessions होंगे आपके CAT and non-CAT के मिला के, each of roughly about 1.5 to 2 hours, you can basically say 250 to 300 hours वहीं हो गए. Another 300 hours that you put in, which is what Ravi is talking about. Learning is not just happening in the class, it is happening pre and post class as well. You are doing something before entering class so that you are trying your level best कि आज जो क्लास में पढ़ाएंगे वो मुझे ज्यादा समझ आए. You are doing something after class कि जो पढ़ाया उसको मैं रिवाइज कर लूं ताकि नेक्स्ट टाइम जाने से पहले ये कॉन्सेप्ट क्लियर हुआ है. So what Ravi is stating becomes very important. And then comes the 400 hours of going ahead and putting in practice. Now somebody asked, sir, can you explain a bit more about those 400 hours? I'll put it mathematically. 30 मॉक्स मुझे लिखने हैं. Each mock 2 hour का है. मेरे को एनालाइज करने में 5 to 6 hours. Let's take 6 hours. That's 8 hours per mock that you're going ahead and spending. 2 plus 6. So 8 into 30, 240 hours तो वहीं हो गए. 160 बचे. Now don't you need to do topic tests, do sectional tests, do other formats of test? For example, I am solving mocks and I realized यार escalator वाले problem मुझसे नहीं होते. खाली escalator के topic test करो, my zone पे है. यार मैं ये सॉल्व कर रहा हूं, लीनियर अरेंजमेंट हो जाता है, लेकिन सर्कुलर अरेंजमेंट वाले सेट्स मुझसे नहीं होते. गो बैक टू माय जोन. सर्कुलर अरेंजमेंट में क्या प्रॉब्लम है? सॉल्व 10 सेट्स, सॉल्व 15 सेट्स. So that is exactly what we mean. So some of you all were also asking, where do we get this additional questions? It's all there in my zone. There is something called topic test. There is going to be something called sectional tests, which will start in roughly about a month and a half, 2 months time. There is going to be something called daily dose. Every single day you are going to get one question which is going to come in my zone across one of the sections. That is something that you should be looking at. So there is going to be a lot coming your way. So do go ahead and have a look at it. In addition to that, यार हम लोग sessions YouTube पे भी लेते रहते हैं. I don't know whether you know it or not. Every single day one session happens. Going forward, it might soon become every single day 2 sessions happening. That is additional content. Come solve those questions as well. So there is a plethora of content out there for you to solve. Go ahead and utilize it. Okay? Okay. Let's keep moving forward. This to me is a very, very important slide. I think the next 2 slides are very important. The way I look at it is, if I'm kickstarting my preparation today, I would urge you to go ahead and write a mock right upfront. I think Utsav had gone ahead and stated, sir, मैंने वो पहला mock लिखा है और मेरे को 42 percentile आया. Now I am thinking मेरे को CAT भी लिखना चाहिए कि नहीं. Utsav, this slide is for you. Have a look at it. I am saying, if you just go ahead and prep enough to improve your attempt in a mock by one question overall every 45 days. मतलब समझो आज मैं mock लिख रहा हूं, मैं 6 से 7 क्वेश्चन सही कर पा रहा हूं. 45 डेज में क्या मैं इतना प्रेप कर सकता हूं, इतनी मेहनत कर सकता हूं, that from those 7 questions I move to just 8 questions, one additional question right. Then another 45 days, can I get one more question right? 9 right. Another 45 days, one more question right, 10 right. So if every 45 days you can add just one question overall, not even section wise, just one more question to your kitty, a 40 percentile moves to 50, 50 moves to 59, 59 to 67, which moves to 74, 80, 84, and 88. That means just by adding one question every 45 days through your prep, a 40 percentile can move to an 88 percentile. That's the first thing. And I'm quite sure all of you know कि यार हर 45 डे में मैं इतना तो नहीं करूंगा, खाली एक क्वेश्चन होगा. हो सकता है फर्स्ट 45 डेज में उतना ही हो, नेक्स्ट 45 डेज में उतना हो, थर्ड में उतना हो, लेकिन फोर्थ फिफ्थ से थोड़ा एक्सपोनेंशियल ग्रोथ होगी. सडनली यू विल रियलाइज दो क्वेश्चन ऐड हो रहे, तीन ऐड हो रहे हैं. So a 40 percentile moving to a 95, 98 percentile might take no time. It can surely happen over a period of about 6 months. Similarly, if you're one of those who scored a 60 percentile, 60 से आप 93 चले जाओगे हर 45 days में just one question. So this is a very important slide. This is data picked up from actual CAT, validated over the last 3 years. हर 3 साल में more or less ऐसा गया है. That is important. The second important thing that I want you all to go ahead and talk about, oops, I think I missed it. Yeah, I missed it by mistake, I think. Did I? I think so. Yeah. So there is one more important thing that I want you to focus on, which is if you end up scoring a 50 percentile in your mock, what does that actually translate in the actual exam? Now there are two parts to it. Okay, एक part है कि we always know and we always state we are very close to the CAT exam. Data shows it as well. I'm sure your friends have told you about it. You heard it elsewhere. You've gone to Reddit and seen it. You've seen in Telegram groups. I'm keeping that aside. But irrespective of all of that, एक मॉक कितने बंदे लिखेंगे? 10,000, 20,000, 25,000? लेकिन कैट कितने लोग लिखते हैं? 3 लाख. अगर 35,000 लोग भी एक मॉक लिख दे, दैट इज स्टिल 1/10. उस 30,000 लोग में आपका 50 परसेंटाइल आएगा, 15,000 रैंक है. बाकी के 2,70,000 पीपल में हाउ मेनी आर एक्चुअल सीरियस एस्पिरेंट्स? हाउ मेनी पीपल आर एक्चुअली सीरियसली प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर कैट? How many of them are actually writing CAT because they were told यार नेबर में सोनू है, उसका हो गया, IIM अहमदाबाद में, तुम भी प्रेप करो. यार मेरी गर्लफ्रेंड कैट लिखने जा रही है, मैं बॉयफ्रेंड रहूं कैट के बाद, मैं भी साथ में उसके चले जाता हूं, so that you know she doesn't get somebody new, or vice versa, happens both ways here. So you have to keep this in mind. And how can you realize that? You can realize that by just looking at a simple graph of यार 80 परसेंटाइल कितने मार्क्स पे आता है, 70 परसेंटाइल कितने मार्क्स पे आता है, एंड यू विल रियलाइज 20 मार्क्स पे 50 परसेंटाइल आता है, 55 परसेंटाइल आता है. क्यों? खाली 20 मार्क्स ओवरऑल कैट पे 55 परसेंटाइल, 6 क्वेश्चन पे 50% ऑफ इंडिया, 1,50,000 people score less than or are able to get less than 5 to 6 questions right in CAT. What does that tell you? They were not serious aspirants. They didn't put in too much effort. Hence always realize that कि जब आपका mock में कोई percentile आ रहा है, you are competing only against the serious ones who've gone ahead and put in money, either their hard-earned money or their parents' hard-earned money. They are serious. They are putting in that effort every day. When you are going ahead and looking at your percentile in CAT, there are going to be about that 1 lakh who are not even your competitions. And इसीलिए हम बोलते हैं पेपर जब difficult होता है अच्छा होता है, because ये competition एकदम ही नहीं रहता. जब इजी होता है सडनली ये कंपटीशन में भी ये लोग 5 क्वेश्चन, 8 क्वेश्चन, 10 क्वेश्चन कर लेते हैं, राइट? सो दैट इज व्हाई योर कंपटीशन सडनली इज नाउ नो लॉन्गर 3 लाख पीपल, इट इज ओनली 2, बिकॉज आप उस 1 लाख से तो बेटर हो ही. तो होगा क्या, आप 30,000 में 15,000 रैंक है, लेकिन आपको रियलाइज होगा कि वो जो 2 लाख सीरियस एस्पिरेंट है, मैं अगर अज्यूम करूं, उसमें आपका रैंक प्रॉब्ली 1 लाख होगा. ओके, और उस 1 लाख जो एकदम एस्पिरेंट सीरियस नहीं थे, उनसे तो आप बेटर हो ही. सो सडनली योर रैंक इज 1 लाख आउट ऑफ 3 लाख, इट्स अ 67 परसेंटाइल. So you are not going to be a 50 percentile, but it's going to be a 67 percentile, which means a 50 percentile in mocks could be equivalent to a 67, 70 in CAT. Please keep that in mind. Okay, obviously as you go up the higher end, 95, 97, 98, jump बहुत कम होगा, because वो serious वाले लोग ही तो है जो इतना high percentile लाएंगे, और उसके against तो आप compete कर ही रहे हो रोज. So please keep that in mind as well. These two are very important parameters. The closer you get to CAT, the jump will be lesser. The farther away you are from CAT, the jump will be higher. At this point in time, your 50 is equivalent to 70. August में बात कर रहे होंगे, I will not say 50 is equivalent to 70. I'll say it's equivalent to a 55. So please keep that in mind. Okay. 2 to 3 things to keep in mind. Obviously, starting early will help build familiarity and concepts. Consistency will ensure that you are able to track progress and refine strategies. And obviously, you learn from your mistakes and optimize performance. These are qualitative things which we have already spoken about, in the things we've done.